Nice sunny day on the island of the Pacific. The perfect place to talk about the Damned. Going into 1986, things seemed great for them. Like they had finally signed to a major label. NCA Records had just come off a very successful album for them. It was their biggest ever, Phantasmagoria, and they recorded a version of a song called Eloise, which is an old, late 60s kind of song, which was a hit in the UK already. Forget the name of the artist, I'll put it up on the screen. Again, I'm doing this just walking around the neighborhood with no notes, so anything I mess up or don't have information on, I'll stick up there. But anyway, they released this song, it became a big hit. I think it was at #1. It was their biggest song they'd ever had. And it got them a lot of attention, and MCA felt like they had to strike while the iron was hot, you know. So we got to get these guys in the studio. They wanted to make an album around it, but Dave, I guess, although he always wanted to sing the song and talked about recording it, wasn't too keen on releasing it as a single. I'm not really sure why that was, but maybe it was like he didn't want to. It was too far afield of their regular image or whatever. But around this time, when they're recording this new MCA album that they'd kind of rushed them into the studio to get done, they appeared on a TV show. I forget what it was, some kind of TV show in the UK where it just kind of showed them working behind the scenes on that album. Dave was going through a kind of a Jim Morrison sort of phase, and they did a cover there of People Are Strange that they did in studio that appeared on the TV show. Showed them like riding ATVs. It was pretty weird. It's still out there. But anyway, the band says they were kind of thrown in there. They weren't ready. They didn't have the songs together. And I mean, you'd probably agree by listening to it. Anything is, I like it. I don't think they made a bad album. But it's a little slight. There's not much to it. Again, there's some instrumental there's an instrumental number on there, like they had on the last album, which is a little bit, to me, it's kind of filler. But my favorite song, and of course I'm not going to be able to remember what it was called. It's the Miami Vice song, the one that was from the oh God, I'm just going to put it up here. That's the best song in the album. Dear Mother, I'm writing you. It's like a soldier song he's writing to his thank God for this. I can't sing the song in my head, and I'm still not going to come up with the title. In Dulce Decorum. Is that it? Yes, I think it is. But anyway, that's a great tune. I like Gigolo, but it's basically just a remake of Gigolo Aunt from Syd Barrett. And he's not credited on it anywhere. I mean, the music, some of the lyrics, it's almost like it has the same organ pattern. It's really weird. Like if you look at the credits on that song, none of Pink Floyd is credited, and it's pretty blatantly taken from it. It's almost like the song Gigolo, like it's an answer to Gigolo Aunt, the song Gigolo Aunt. I think the lyric was, the Syd Barrett was, you know that I am a Gigolo Aunt. In the Damned lyrics are, I ain't a Gigolo Aunt. But it's almost the same song. They released that as a single, had a video with it, which was really cool. I think the video is great. But it seemed like they were kind of, after doing the goth thing for Phantasmagoria, it seemed like they didn't really know how they wanted to present themselves. They know they didn't want to stay in that thing. They wanted to change it up. And the aesthetic, I guess, for anything, or what it seemed to be, by looking at the artwork that goes along with it and the photography that goes along with it. It's kind of like the circus sort of big top kind of presentation, and that's how they kind of did it with the live show too. I don't know what they were going for, but Dave grew this hilarious mustache for the Gigolo Aunt video. Now I'm calling it Gigolo Aunt. For the Gigolo video. The first single from this album is the title track, Anything, which to me sounds a bit like Sisters of Mercy from the Vision Thing kind of era, like the late 90s, like the late 80s, early 90s. It sounds kind of like that. And the melody, the verse melody, is 5'1" by Iggy Pop, straight up. And I think they've caught to this too, but again, he doesn't get the songwriting credit. Rat ain't giving nobody no credit that he's on. He'll fight you about it. I mean, it's clearly that, you know, it's clearly that melody, but whatever. In fact, I think they used to do that. Didn't they used to do 5'1"? Or maybe they used to do them Bored. They did a later day Iggy song, I know. You know, obviously they used to do the Stooges stuff when they were in the Dam, but I can't remember right now. Again, don't carry notes around me. But this song is it's kind of one ear out the other. It's more production than song, actually. Like, why would you do this? This is the light right there. Why would you do this? So yeah, there's more. It's more about sound than actual music. A lot of stuff is like that on this album. It sounds like they had some sort of minor song ideas, and then they added a lot of production on top of it. Like Gigolo's the same way. There's like 2 minutes in the beginning of just like laughing and kind of weird stuff that I guess it creates like a psychedelic feeling to it, but I don't know. The biggest song from this whole thing was their cover of oh my god, Alzheimer's. I'm not even gonna try to think of it. I should at least check the album before I start talking, but the cover of the oh god help me. That's it, I'm done. My brain's cooked. It's fucking done. You know what I'm talking about. That one, this thing. That was the biggest one. That made the biggest impact. And it's still played sometimes in their live set. They still drag it out. It's cool. It's cool, but so now we're up to what? How many covers are on this thing? One, well actually just really one cover, but 2 other covers disguised as different songs. The instrumental, they didn't have a lot to go with, and MCA really wanted this album out. The labels don't care what you have. They don't care about quality and stuff like that, especially MCA. MCA is fucking awful. MCA was one of the worst ones. How do you not understand it? No one understands today how to fucking stop. No, he's important. He's got a nice car. He's very important. He's more important than me. So the MCA sucked. We used to call it the Music Cemetery Association. I knew people that were on that label, and they were having a hard time there. Everyone had a hard time there. I remember going there to their outpost, whatever you call it, outpost office up where I lived, to listen to Neil Schoen's new band after Bad English and Journey. It was a band called God help me. I can't remember anything. Just fuck it. I'm done. My head is done. The Gioli Brothers. Yeah, I have full-blown Alzheimer's. I don't know what to tell you. I can't remember anything. The fuck is going on with me? Anyway, I was up there listening to that. I remember just talking to some guys there that worked there, and just getting a really warped sense of what how they feel about their artists and their bands. And I remember I was talking about Bang Tango to them, which is a group I liked a lot. And I'm like, yeah, you guys aren't really doing anything for that album, it seems like. It was their second one. I can't think of the name, of course, because I've forgotten everything. I've forgotten everything. Dancing on Cold. Oh, okay, good. I got one thing. But, yeah, it was just, they weren't giving it any help, you know. And I remember them saying, well, you sucks anyway. That lead singer sucks. You can't sing. I'm like, what? That's their label, you know. So, like, MCA to me just felt like a bunch of doofuses, you know. So it's not a great label to be on, especially when, I mean, they had a UK office, but around the time that anything was coming out, they closed the UK office. So you're not going to get a lot of support. Unfortunately, they couldn't keep it going. There was nothing. It was two factors here. A label that sucks, but I will say they did put money into it a little bit. They paid for some videos. I mean, they did 1, 2, they did 3 videos for them. So they put some money into it, but if you don't have a plan, if you don't have some kind of marketing plan or marketing strategy, which is unfortunately what you have to think about, you can throw all the money you want at it, and it's not going to help. And I think they didn't have that guy. Like what happens with a lot of labels too, and this happened to them, is the guy that signs you to get you on the label, he gets fired, and nobody else there cares. So they had all those factors working against them. And on top of it, they just crapped out whatever album they could, however they could get 9 tracks together. And I guess it was, you know, it was kind of a depressing time for them. They'd finally gotten some kind of payday, some kind of money through the Phantasmagoria album. They somehow finally had some kind of budget to work with, but it wasn't helping. It was just hurting. There's interpersonal problems in that group too, unfortunately. And at the time, it was Roman Jug on guitar, same lineup as Phantasmagoria. Roman Jug, Bryn Merrick on bass, Dave, of course, on vocals, and Rat on drums. There's some good things on anything, like in Dulce, I can't remember. That's a good one. The Love thing, I can't remember. That's a good one too. And there's other tracks on there that I can't remember that are also good. You know, it's not all bad. It's certainly better than Not of This Earth. And again, like I brag on Not of This Earth a lot, but it's not that the musically Not of This Earth was bad. It's just that they weren't Damn songs at all. They were Alan Lee Shaw songs. And you know, he seems like a nice guy, but I'm not gonna buy his album. I'm not interested. So yeah. So it's not anything isn't their worst album. I would even take anything over So Who's Paranoid. Yeah, I would. How's that? What do you think about that? What you think about that? Oh, what you gonna do, baby? Yeah, so anything. 1986. Kind of a flop. MCA would put one more album out with them, and it would be like a greatest hits type of thing, Light at the End of the Tunnel, which is probably one of the more well-known Damned albums. Like that's a great compilation. It's got a lot of good stuff on it. That should have its own thing, because a lot of people came into the band from that album. I don't know how it happened, but you hear a lot about how it was the first Damned album that everyone had, or it felt like a lot of people had. It was a good mix because it had everything from all eras up to that point. It wasn't like the Chiswick compilations where they could only cover the Chiswick albums, or it wasn't like the early compilations of the first 2 albums where they could only cover stuff from Damned, the first Damned, and oh my god, I'm just fucking cooked. It's over for me. It's over. I should just go down to the hardware store, get myself a shovel, and just start digging, because I'm done. My brain's done. Had a good run. You know, we've cracked some codes together over the last few years. It's been a good time. Thanks for coming, but my brain is officially fucking cooked. It's cooked. I mean, when you can't remember anything, you're kind of done, right? I mean, I'm done. I'm done. All right, if I can remember where I live, and that's, you know, kind of doubtful, and I get home and I get to upload this, then this will be the entry for anything. I can't remember anything, and so we're like halfway done through the catalog. I want to kind of get all of them before the new album comes out. That was kind of the point of this, of the fun little exercise, which has turned into facing the agony of having a disease that robs you of words. I don't think I really have Alzheimer's, but I'm not going to keep saying I do, because then I may create that. Because that's how that shit works, you know? Alright, anything. 1986. It's pretty good. It's not their worst, not their best. There it is. Excuse me. Don't blame the teacher. Blame the school.